Hi, my name is Tyler Johns, and I have been doing research on these troll dolls that have the hair sticking up, and I've been having to read all the history of how they're made before DreamWorks got the rights to make those movies. Well, we just had to look into them. So here are the regular kinds of troll dolls with different kinds of hair, different hair colors, and so yeah, hair sticking up, and so I was looking at certain kinds of animal-shaped trolls that were made by Thomas Dam. That's the creator. There were these, and these giraffe trolls were the idea to create Cooper in the Trolls movies. And there's a lot of other stuff that's these troll dolls that maybe none of you know about yet, but we will get into that. Here are the giraffe troll dolls. Here are some elephant trolls from Thomas Dam, and lion trolls, and monkey trolls. And I've also looked at the mouse troll dolls, and here are some certain troll dolls that are banks. There's a hedgehog, a kangaroo, and there's a pig. And you might want to look at Rawls Happy Gang trolls with the fur all over there. And there's certain troll that look like crows. Here's the Jabberwock crow. And plus, there are some other kinds of troll dolls resembling cows and horses and stuff. For those of you who have seen the Trolls movies and Trolls World Tour, you just have to look at these troll dolls. Here's a centaur troll doll that might have been the inspiration for country trolls. And here's a mermaid troll doll from Russ Trolls. Mermaids and mermen made into techno trolls. And just have to look at these Cupid troll dolls, but don't think Cupid, think Cherub, and it's the idea for making the classical trolls in Trolls World Tour. So let's go over the 3 existing Trolls movies. The first Trolls is where they all start in the troll tree, where everything is about singing, dancing, hugging. The Bergens believe that eating a troll would make them happy, but then when Poppy comes to the rescue, and then she had to teach the Bergens how to be happy on the inside. And the second one, Trolls World Tour, is where there are 6 troll tribes, and Queen Barb, who leads the rock trolls, wants to destroy all music and make everything rock. And Poppy wanted to unite all the trolls, what's left of the trolls tribes, but none of them agreed because they claimed that their differences mattered, and they claimed that they need the strings to keep their own music. They wanted to save music, and it turns out in the end that music can't actually be destroyed, but music comes from within them. That started with the 6 strings, and then the tribes were reunited. And the third one is Trolls Band Together, in which Poppy joins Branch to reunite Branch's older brothers, John Dory, then Spruce, and then Clay and Floyd. And Floyd is kidnapped, and they have to get all the brothers of Brozone back together. And Poppy finds that she has a long lost older sister named Viva in the miniature golf course. And so some fans might believe that there should be a 4th movie. So I was looking at this article of a possible 4th Trolls movie that Justin Timberlake said that a 4th movie is highly possible if wanted, and he wanted to reunite One Direction, but unfortunately, one of the guys of that band, One Direction, Liam Payne, died in a freak accident falling from a 3rd-floor balcony of a hotel in Buenos Aires. So if there's going to be a 4th Trolls movie, let's just say reunite another band is out of the question. So looks like it's time to move on with some new ideas. Will help DreamWorks out, possibly. So I opened up my DeviantArt account, and I just made a little theory artwork of evolution of the trolls. Regular trolls evolved into either pop or rock trolls, and giraffe trolls evolved into the funk trolls. See, I got the strings from Trolls World Tour. And here's another evolution piece. Centaur trolls become country trolls, cherub troll, classical troll, mermaid troll, techno troll. And I did some artwork that's concept that's based on some other troll doll design that was not used in the DreamWorks Trolls movies. Trolls That Time Forgot is what I call it. So here's the troll, land troll, monkey trolls. And here's a turtle troll, Jabberwock crew, and here's a little concept I made with DreamWorks Trolls characters Poppy and Branch. They're meeting some certain animal-shaped trolls that are not in the movies. And you might want to look at this old 90s special Magic Trolls and Troll Warriors where they have this bird with troll hair who helps them out, and I took a snapshot of this troll-haired bird character. Let's just say maybe certain animal-shaped trolls, maybe if there's going to be a fourth movie, maybe some new kind of animal-shaped trolls can be loyal to the trolls of the musical tribes. So here I made a concept of misfit trolls. Let's say that a certain misfit troll has to be a certain troll that left the tribe because every day was always the same thing, and I don't know, here making a mom for Poppy and certain pop trolls forming a resistance. Maybe it's all the misfit trolls form resistance, and maybe certain Elvis like rock troll who might also have the same persona as the Fawns from Happy Days, and a country troll Marshall. And I also made another art here of certain trolls of One Direction, but that was before Liam Payne died. And what should Poppy's mom's name be? I was thinking of maybe Donna in a reference to Madonna the singer, because Madonna was nicknamed the Queen of Pop in her career, or maybe something like Prima Donna, or I think I've heard like a Viva Donna, something like that. So now the new troll. If there's gonna be a fourth Trolls movie, they need a new villain. Maybe they should have a male main antagonist, since the three existing movies already have female antagonists. First, the Bergen Chef. Second, Queen Barb, who redeems herself in the end. And then, third one, Velvet, accompanied by her brother Veneer. So, let's move on. So, I was looking at some certain Troll Doll spin-offs. So, here are the Troll Flings, which are made by Oak. That's OOAK. Maybe we should have a goblin, sort of like kind of a bad guy, and might want to reference things to the Zelfs, which is another troll doll knockoff, which we're not dealing with. And here comes the big thing. So how about this for a villain? A goblin-like magician. He's got the hat, the suit, the cape, and the magic cane, and advertised crystal ball to know who knows everything about the trolls tribes, and I name him Siegfried Royale, in reference to Siegfried and Roy, who were two famous German-American magicians who lived a long time ago. Their career ended with a tiger attack. Well, these guys are both dead now. For this concept of a villain, you might want to take a look at certain characters like Mandrake the Magician from some old comic books, or Jack Skellington from The Nightmare Before Christmas, or Hawk Moth from Miraculous, Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir, or King Magnifico from Disney's Wish. Plus, I added one of the party crashers here from Trolls The Beat Goes On, so here they are. There's some other images. I don't know if they would want to be, maybe we should have them as henchmen, maybe different characters as some sort. Now, how about this for a conflict in a fourth Trolls movie? Maybe Branch might say hugging won't solve every problem, and he wants the world to make sense, and some terms say things aren't always what they seem, or you can take a troll at a party, but you can't. And like Poppy never knew her mom, and King Peppy, maybe King Peppy had to lie to his daughter Poppy to protect her from things she couldn't understand, and then maybe some misfit trolls can introduce themselves and who left the tribes for different reasons. And let's say Branch gets bored of every day being the same and finds the brochure, which leads to our new villain in a place called Paradise City, which we'll get to later. I should also add that for the whole Trolls franchise, like the troll tribes get along fine, and maybe we should add that because Ozzy Osbourne died months ago, he was doing the in Trolls World Tour. He did the voice of King Thrash. That's Barb's father, who was the former king of the Rock Tribe. Maybe they should mention having a funeral for King Thrash, and maybe Branch's brothers might party with him, and Branch might get tired of it. So there you have it. Now, here I made a big concept art here of a place called Paradise City that's owned by Mr. Siegfried Royale, and Poppy and Branch are on a day when Sheila Balloon here and have fun in the city after Branch finds the brochure, and maybe Royale might follow them home and introduce himself to the Troll Kingdom and put on his magic show while he secretly hires his henchmen to sabotage everything. And so we want to keep the Trolls franchise musical spirit going on. Maybe this guy should have his own musical skills as well as his magical talents with the power of a certain rainbow gem on top of his cane. So let's just say the new villain here is a good Samaritan, and with his crystal ball, he knows what these events the ancient trolls, and claims that their differences matter. Welcomes in the Paradise City these wild trolls, the animal-shaped trolls that turn into circus trolls, and maybe some places for the former bounty hunters that were introduced in Trolls World Tour. And here I made some trolls in a folk band. Maybe we should have like a Scotsman troll with bagpipes and stuff like that. And I drew Hickory from Trolls World Tour as one of the yodeler trolls, and Mr. Royale believes that the trolls have one weakness: children. How about this? Like, after Royale introduces himself and he takes advantage of Poppy's positivity, because we all know that Poppy is the most positive and sweetest troll of all, and Branch doesn't trust this guy he probably knows that he's pulling a scam, so he's performing magic show, romantic gala, and then something bad happens. And how about we have Chaz, the smooth jazz troll, disguising himself, kidnapping the troll children. Let's just say it's like the Pied Piper meets the coachman from Pinocchio, or the child catcher from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and Tiny Diamond might be the only one to get out of his clutches since he's the smallest of all the trolls. Because in Trollstopia, it shows that smooth jazz doesn't work on children, with Chaz mesmerizing the trolls, and maybe if he learned to play children's jazz, maybe jazz versions of children's songs, then he could mesmerize children. Here's a concept of Mr. Royale secretly hiring Chaz to charm the children with a different saxophone and with a children's songbook, so maybe we'll put it that way. Now let's say all the troll tribes need aerial transport. Let's say if Branch teaches them how to prepare for the worst things that could happen, maybe the troll tribes could have each of their own transport. We've seen the Sheila be the Flower Face Balloon and Trolls World Tour and Queen Barb's World Tour vehicles, the Angler buses and the Beetle bikes, and the Funk Trolls have their anti-gravity vehicles like the hoverboards and stuff. And maybe certain trolls should have like a little UFO like flying pod, and maybe the country trolls could use birds of prey or maybe hawks as with saddles and reins, and the classical trolls maybe a ship with aerial screw, and the techno trolls with flying fish. And maybe this is what their rescue fleet should look like. You see, if you zoom in, maybe you might recognize some of the most of the characters, or maybe some from Trollstopia that are either named or unnamed. And I don't even know how we can. Not sure how many characters they would want to bring back. So if there's gonna be a fourth Trolls movie, like how many characters does DreamWorks want to bring back? Well, I don't know about bringing back DJ Suki. I mean, she was just in the first Trolls movie, and then she was in the streaming shows, and I mean, I don't know if Gwen Stefani would underprice her role for the character, but maybe I was thinking try you should turning certain characters from Trollstopia, more characters from Trollstopia into 3D, other than Val Thundershock, the ambassador of rock, and Holly Darling, who was the ambassador of country, and in 3D with Trolls, Holiday, and Harmony. And I don't know if they bring back DJ Suki, then she'd have to be maybe the ambassador of pop. I think the perfect voice actor for this new villain character would be Luke Evans. He was in the Hobbit movies, and he was Gaston in the live action remake of Beauty and the Beast, and he was the coachman in the live action remake of Disney's Pinocchio, and he's been in a lot of other stuff. So if there's gonna be the fourth Trolls movie, so maybe there should be like some certain previously unnamed characters who might be given names. Maybe we should get some certain new more to the cast in the franchise. Maybe some certain rock trolls can be voiced by Aquafina, maybe John Heater, or how about Brad Garrett, and some certain funk trolls to be voiced by maybe Jamie Foxx, will.i.am, or Octavia Spencer, or how about Yvette Nicole Brown, or maybe Larry the Cable Guy could do the voice of a certain goofy elderly country troll, and how about Cholo Maridueña as a certain new techno troll character. Well, I've seen plenty of movies, and I know everything about certain celebrities and their ways. So here I just made a concept of maybe a new movie poster. How does this sound for a fourth Trolls movie? DreamWorks, Trolls Forever. And, well, I don't know about forever. Well, and you just look at the bottom, you might recognize a bunch of the characters here, and it's got the new. And some fans believe Poppy and Branch should get married, and maybe Branch should be crowned king. Well, we'll get to that later. So yeah, maybe they'll want to bring back maybe the troll tribe leaders and the ambassadors and their fellow delegates, and maybe bring back Poppy's sister Viva from the third movie, and maybe some of Branch's brothers, but not Spruce, because Spruce has got his family business on Vacay Island. So maybe they'll have putt trolls again, and in some parts. And now, moving on to these new ideas, how about we say maybe Viva wants to live closer to Poppy, and after learning about that the Bergens don't want to eat trolls anymore, and then Branch wants to propose to Poppy to marry him, and oh my god. And so over here we got the circus trolls. There's these animal-shaped trolls. And maybe they'll introduce themselves while the musical tribes introduce themselves as well, and maybe here we'll see, maybe Poppy will find her long-lost mother who left the troll tree years ago, and maybe because King Pepe did not listen or reason about changing their ways, and let's just say it's time for the trolls to find out what a troll really is. And maybe with the troll kids kidnapped, they're in a new school, and they're in homes with nanny homes. Maybe I have a K-pop nanny here, I don't know about that. And then the troll children might be forced to child labor if they all want to party all the time. Still the same thing with all the troll. And maybe here I have Siegfried Royale revealing his true evil nature to the trolls, because the trolls might be like, "You set us up, you ripped us off," and and because Royale studied the troll's history, if used Poppy's positivity to his advantage, and how about this with King Pepe reunite with his ex-wife, and they argue about what's been done in the past, and it's always seeing dance hug every day, and that Poppy managed to reveal to redeem the Bergens, and maybe other tribes never helped. All they cared about was music, and maybe something like so. So, in theory, what if I say that, like, maybe it's not the music that divided the troll tribes, but maybe it was acts of selfishness. Maybe we could put that in somewhere in the script. Okay, so now more concepts here. Trolls studying performing arts. I drew Biggie and Legsley dressed as clowns, and Sat and Chenille are like a flying trapeze with a monkey troll, and there's a troll bird, and trolls are dressed in a sort of a ringmaster suit, and I drew Barb and her band dressed as pirates, and here's Cooper juggling on a unicycle, and techno trolls with a turtle and a fountain, and you see might recognize somebody here, and maybe Poppy might make a deal with Royale, but Royale has a new evil plan in mind, and I could hear Poppy say, "You'll never get away with this!" And then he'll probably say, "On the contrary, I already have." And then here we have maybe the trolls can fight off these mind goblins to rescue the troll children in their own ways. I should add that Royale's goal is to make sure the trolls see that there are more things in life than music and parties and all that stuff. You might say that there are more things more important than anything fun, and so let's just say the musical tribes with their volunteers they'll form an army with the circus trolls and the misfit trolls, and with an elephant troll saying, "An elephant troll never forgets." Just like how they say an elephant never forgets. Let's just put it that way. So how about this for a climax? Our final battle, say after the trolls rescue the children and there's a magic barrier. They try to get home and there's a magic barrier and then made by him, and he's like, "Did you trolls think that I was going to let you leave so soon?" Well, and maybe Royale will spread his magic, swirling around, and then, "He who controls the trolls controls the kingdom." That line's from the first movie, and, well, his magic's too strong, and then he'll be like, "Say your prayers, trolls, there's no escape for you." Just trying to make the bad guys sound cool. And then Poppy hatches a plan. The Royale might try to take a party out of a troll, but which is impossible. You can take a troll out of a party, but you can never take the party out of a troll. Let's just put it that way, and it takes like the ultimate harmony for all trolls, including the circus trolls, and then they'll do the ultimate party, and then if you watch enough movies, there could be a possible way to that someone makes a sacrifice, but don't worry, we should have a happy ending here. Yeah, so let's just say if you watch the right movies, and maybe like someone looks like that somebody is dead, but maybe or in a coma, having made a sacrifice, but things aren't always what they seem, and maybe I'm getting a little nostalgic here, so we should be able to make a happy ending here. Poppy and Branch finally get together with their relationship, and maybe Branch should confess that he has always loved Poppy, and then we can move forward to doing a wedding. I should also add that this rainbow magic, let's say it could be dangerous in the wrong hands, and like these rainbow gems on top of Royale's cane is, let's say, a lost treasure forgotten by the trolls before they found the six strings. And now let's just say the trolls have to experience a lot of sadness before finding real happiness within themselves, wherever they find it, whatever they do. So how about this for a happy ending? Maybe Poppy and Branch share true love's kiss, making a big wave of magic that's similar to how when in Trolls World Tour when Poppy makes her pinky promise to Biggie, but this is a little bit different, and Branch gets his colors back, and then Branch proposes to Poppy, and then there's the wedding. Maybe if the filmmakers agree to this idea, maybe then Branch will be crowned king, and then maybe a new original song to celebrate their marriage, and after the misfit trolls have to accept what's the word? Make amends with their ones they abandoned, so they reconcile. That's the word, reconcile. So the trolls have to reconcile with the misfits, and so let's see. Poppy and Branch are going to leave on their honeymoon, and I drew them in their swimwear on the beach, and vacate Alan in their spruce on his surfboard. Now to conclude this theory, so they should look up the songs, maybe Elton John songs, or the song Crystal Ball by Keane, or the Will You Still Love Me by Chicago. And then maybe they'll have a new original song in the credits. And so that's it for my theory for a fourth Trolls movie. What will DreamWorks' filmmakers say? What will Justin Timberlake say? What will Walt Dorn say? Well, if they find these ideas legit, so let's see, it's a matter of who gets to write the script, and we'll see what happens. I hope you fans enjoy this.